So hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel Doctor's Anatomy, and today's topic for discussion is the covering of brain, which is known as in meninges. So here with us you will have the meninges, the cerebrum along with cerebellum and the skull. So meninges is the layer of brain which is composed of three layers. What are these three layers? The dura mater, the arachnoid mater and the pia mater. So dura mater is further divided into two parts. These two parts are known as an outer periosteal layer and inner meningeal layer. So this is the covering of the brain. Over here you can see the vascularities present. This vascularities is present into the periosteal layer. Meningeal layer, which covers the brain, used to go deep inside the fissures. Okay, so you can see this is the cerebrum. Between the two cerebral hemisphere you can find the fissure. Okay, so from here the covering of the dura mater will goes deep inside. Okay, and through that it is forming the fold, and these folds are known as an folds of the meninges. So we will discuss the four folds that are present within the brain. So these are the Falx cerebri, Tentorium cerebelli, Falx cerebelli and the Diaphragma sella. Let me show you the same in this specimen. So this covering over here that you can see, this is the dura mater. If I am turning it down, the middle one that you will find over here, this one, this is known as an Falx cerebri. Another one that you can see over here, this one, this is known as an Tentorium cerebelli. Another one is present over here. This is known as a Falx cerebelli. And the last one that is not present within this specimen, that is known as an Falx cerebelli. Okay. Sorry, the last one that is present, not present over here, that is known as an Diaphragma sella. So these are the four meningeal fold that we are going to discuss today in this topic. So let us just begin with the Falx cerebri. The first one, the Falx cerebri, is one of the largest fold of the this meningeal layer. So you can see this one. This is the sickle-shaped large fold of the meninges. This one is known as an Falx cerebri. It is going to separate the two cerebral hemispheres. So let me show you. This is the right cerebral hemisphere and this one is the left cerebral hemisphere. Between these two you will find the fissure and it will fit inside the fissure like this. So let me show you by fitting it into this. Now you can see that this fold is running between two cerebral hemispheres. That is how it is going to separate the two cerebral hemispheres from each other. It is sickle shaped in nature and it is going to form the separation between the right and left cerebral hemisphere. So you can see it has a two margin. The first one is the superior margin that is adherently attached with these two layers, and another one is the inferior margin, which is known as a free margin. So superior margin over here, you can see this is the superior margin. They are splitting up into two layers and they will provide the space for the superior sagittal sinus. So there is a superior sagittal sinus present within the superior border of the Falx cerebri. That is the first. Then the inferior border over here, it is a free border. It is not adherently attached with any of the structures, but it is in close relation with the another sinus which is known as the inferior sagittal sinus. So over here you will find the inferior sagittal sinus. After that you can also appreciate it has the anterior margin that you can see over here. This is the anterior margin and this one is the posterior margin. Okay, so here you can see that the anterior margin, let me show you the same in the skull how it is located. So if I put it like this, you can see this is the anterior margin of the Falx cerebri that is adherently attached over here. This is known as an crista gully. So anterior margin is adherently attached over here like this. Okay, so that is the anterior margin. And if you are going to see the posterior margin, okay, this is the posterior margin over here. Let me show you. This is the posterior margin over here that is seated onto the superior aspect of this tent-like structure, which is known as an tentorium cerebelli. Okay, so that is the things that you need to remember for the falx cerebri. Now the second fold of the meninges is known as an tentorium cerebelli. That fold you can visualize over here. This is known as an tentorium cerebelli. It's look like a tent. It is create a separations between your cerebrum and the cerebellum. So you can see this fissure over here. That is where it is situated. Okay, it is creating the separations between the occipital lobe and cerebellum. These are the two structures in which between these two structures the fold of your meninges is lying, and that fold is known as an tentorium cerebelli. Anteriorly, they are firmly attached with the clinoid process of the sphenoid bone. So you can see this two process over here. This is the territory of the sphenoid bone, and you can see this two process that is lying over here. This is known as an clinoid process of the sphenoid bone. I'll show you how it is attached. So let me fix it over here. This is the anterior margin of the tentorium cerebelli. They are firmly adherently attached over here to the clinoid process. Okay, like this. So you can see that it has a two margin. Okay, so this is the anterior free margin. This is the anterior free margin over here. Okay. Another one is the posterior margin that you can see over here. This is the posterior margin. Anterior margin, free margin, they remains free, but the anterior most part of the anterior margin is fused with the clinoid process of the sphenoid bone that I already show you in the specimen. Whereas the posterior margin over here, it gives attachment to the transverse sinus. Okay. Just like we talked about the superior sagittal sinus, inferior sagittal sinus, another one sinus that you will find over here that will be known as an transverse sinus. Not only it is going to give you the attachment of the transverse sinus through its this border, but it is also going to give you the another sinus that is known as an superior petrosal sinus. So these are the two sinus that are related with the tentorium cerebelli. The last one that you can see that is running from the inferior aspect of the tentorium cerebelli, this fold over here, that fold is known as an falx cerebelli. Okay, so this falx cerebelli, what it is going to do, it is going to separate the two lobes of the cerebellar hemisphere. Okay, so you can see this is the cerebellum. Between this two cerebellar hemisphere, you can see this fissure is there. That is where this fold is present. Okay, and this fold is known as an falx cerebelli. It is a small fold and it looks like a sickle shaped. Its base is firmly attached. Over here, its base is there. It is firmly attached with the inferior aspect of the tentorium cerebelli. Whereas apex reaches all the way up to the foramen magnum. So let me show you the same over here. From here it is attached and it will reach all the way up to the foramen magnum. This is the foramen magnum. So it is situated like this. This fold is there. It is situated like this and it will reach all the way up to the foramen magnum. The last one that I can't show you over here, but that is known as the diaphragma sella. That is the small horizontal fold. For that, you just imagine that this fold is continuously extended all the way up to the anterior aspect. Over here, it is going to form the separations between the pituitary gland and cerebellum. So, and over here, you will find the pituitary gland. So, the fold is running like this and it is forming the separation. Just imagine that my finger is the fold, and above here you will have the below here you will have the interior pituitary gland, and above here you will have the cerebral hemisphere. So separation is created between the cerebral hemisphere and pituitary gland, and that fold is known as a diaphragma sella. So these are the folds of the meninges, that is you need to remember. Thank you.